The Qīngjìng is a classical Taoist scripture which summarizes many of the primary arguments put forward in the Tao Te Ching. What makes this scripture particularly unique is its presentation, which is more akin to Buddhist scriptures such as the Heart Sutra. This has led to the Qīngjìng also to be referred to as the Sutra of Clarity. This scripture is an interesting look in the cross-pollination of ideas and styles between Daoists and Buddhists in Tang Dynasty China. Thus, the classic of Clarity and Stillness, as spoken by the great High Lord Lao, is as follows. Lord Lao spoke, "The great Tao is without form. It brings forth and nurtures heaven and earth. The great Tao is without feelings. It regulates the course of the sun and moon. The great Tao is without a name. It raises and nourishes the 10,000 beings. I do not know its name. Forced to name it, I must call it Tao. Within the Tao there is clarity and turbidity. Within the Tao there is movement and stillness. Heaven is clarity, and earth is turbidity. Heaven is movement, and earth is stillness. The male is clarity, and the female is turbidity. The male is movement, and the female is stillness. Descending from the beginning, flowing towards the end, the 10,000 beings are born. Clarity is the source of turbidity. Movement is the root of stillness. If you can be constantly clear and still, heaven and earth completely return. The human spirit is fond of clarity, but the heart-mind disturbs it. The human heart-mind is fond of stillness, but desires meddle with it. If you can constantly banish desires, then the heart-mind will become still naturally. If you can constantly settle the heart-mind, then the spirit will become clear naturally. Abiding in suchness, the 6 desires do not arise. The 3 poisons are dispersed and destroyed. Whomever cannot accomplish this has not yet settled the heart-mind. Desires have not been banished. If you can abolish desires, internally gazing into the heart-mind, you can see that in actuality there is no heart-mind. Externally gazing into form, you can see that in actuality there is no form. Remotely gazing into things, you can see that in all actuality there are no things. When you awaken to these 3, only then do you glimpse into emptiness. Using emptiness to observe emptiness, you can see that emptiness is not empty. When even emptiness does not exist, you will see that no thingness is indeed no thing. Within even the non-existence of no thingness, there is only clear and constant silence. When silence is no longer silence, how can desires come forth? When desires do not come forth, then this is perfect stillness. Perfect stillness resonates within things. Perfect constancy realizes innate nature. Constantly resonating, constantly still, there is constant clarity, constant stillness. When clarity and stillness are like this, you will gradually enter the perfect Tao. When you enter the perfect Tao, this is called realizing the Tao. Although we call this realizing the Tao, in truth there is nothing to attain. Having the ability to transform all life, this is called realizing the Tao. As for one who can awaken to this, that is one who is able to transmit the sacred Tao. Lord Lao spoke, "The superior adept does not compete. The inferior adept is fond of competing. The highest inner power is not inner power. The lowest inner power clings to inner power. All clinging and attachments have nothing to do with the Tao and inner power. Because people do not realize the perfect Tao, because they have deviant heart minds, when the heart mind is deviant, then the spirit becomes startled. When the spirit becomes startled, there is attachment to 10,000 things. When there is attachment to various beings, then coveting and searching are born. When coveting and searching are born, then there are troubles and vexations. Troubles, vexations, deviations, and illusions cause grief and suffering for the body as well as the heart mind. Then you meet with turbidity and defilements, currents and waves, life and death, continually drowning in an ocean of suffering. Then you are perpetually lost to the perfect Tao. As for the Tao of perfect constancy, one who awakens to it will naturally realize it. Realizing and awakening to the Tao, you will have constancy and clarity and stillness." Thus ends the wondrous scripture on constant clarity and stillness, as spoken by the High Lord Lao.